Hi team, this is Avenger in Voting here to present our Sprint4 report. To talk about what we completed, it can be broken down into three high-level items. One, we made a lot of improvements to our front-end views, and we're now able to send events to Kafka from our front end. Second, we're able to query elections that have been created by a user. And third, closing elections after their time to live has expired. What we weren't able to complete was one story, and it was to enable scraping or collecting metrics from our front end component. We left this one off for last. We tried approach we found online. We're not familiar with a non-JMX based approach. We tried, we weren't successful, and then we ran out of time. So that's what we didn't complete. For our burn down chart, you could see in the middle, for first week, it looks like we were stagnant, but in this time we had two discussions regarding election TTL and decision making about how to go about overcoming an issue that we experienced with sending events to Kafka via the UI. There's basically no browser supported way to do it at the TCP layer 4 level. So how do we overcome this and adjust? But once we completed our election TTL based items, we got the ball rolling and we're able to complete the rest besides that one story. This is our previous burn down charts. You can see on the top right, that's from our Sprint 2, and on the bottom left, this is from our Sprint 3. When we look at our velocity report all the way at the right, you can see this is from this current sprint. It's the first time we estimated more than we can complete. And then on the bottom, you could see our original estimates and what actual outcomes were. For a retrospective, what we should start doing for hefty PRs and hefty merges, let's have a sync call after. Sometimes it's inevitable. It's especially in our scenario here with Sprint 4. But we agree that it would have helped more if we hopped on a call after and really just pointed out some key things to look after and be aware of. For stop, again, try your best to don't create PRs that have hundreds of thousands of lines of code. We know why, right? And there's just bugs are more likely to come out of that. Nobody wants to read that much code. What we should continue doing, deleting branches from remote repository after that branch has been merged. Delete it, it's no longer used. And for our multi-commit PRs, we should continue squashing them before merging into develop. For our term retrospective, what we learned for number one, what we really benefited from this quarter is, trade-off discussions, sync discussions, decisions discussions. We didn't have them multiple times a week, but when we did, we always benefited from them. We learned from each other. We saved time by decision making and saved time from learning from others' mistakes. Number two, we highly benefited from our unit and integration tests. We strongly believe that having that is key to sleeping well. At least some, if you can't get unit integration testing, at least some kind of form of validation like linting. And just from our experience, we had 5 components that are well tested and one that isn't. For the one component that wasn't tested produced more surprises than the other 5 combined. So you just sleep well at night if you test your code. Third is the CI pipeline. One, confidence in your code behaves as expected on a non-local machine, and also you're able to audit for prehistoric events for confirmation, validation, what have you. For number one, don't be shy. If you're stuck on a problem for too long, ask for support. We could, you can. A problem that would have lasted 8 hours could potentially be shortened down to 3, and that's huge and good for everybody. You're helping others by asking for help. If they can help you, you're helping them. Number two, don't rely too heavily on random generated test data. There's some level of acceptance in unit testing, but it shouldn't be done in integration tests. On the other hand, if your tests don't do a good job of matching real life prod data, then what does that say about your tests? And 3, don't find yourself opening up a hefty PR, as stated previously. Nobody wants to read it, and bugs are more likely to be introduced. And for our next video in the demo, we're going to be creating elections. We're going to be sending votes from the UI. showing how an election is closed after the configurable amount of time has passed, and elections by user, and seeing how we've got alerting in Prometheus. However, we don't have notifications. We're able to trigger an alert, but we don't have a mechanism or integration for, let's say, sending an SMS or an email or what have you. So thank you all. See you in the next video.